Hey guys, welcome back. So today I'm going to be making a brand new video, and it's going to be a story time video. I'm going to try to post a lot of these because I have a lot of good stories that I can tell you guys that are hopefully interesting to you all. And I had to make this kind of quickly because I have somewhere to be, but I just decided to film this before I went to where I'm supposed to be. So yeah, so let's jump right into the video. So basically today's story time is about my worst fall that I've ever had. This accident took place last summer, and it was not on any of my horses, it was on my dad's horse. So yeah, so before I get into the story of how I fell off, I'm gonna just tell you basically like about the horse and the situation and all that stuff. So basically my dad's horse is like not ridden that much. She's a trail horse pretty much. She was bred to be a cutting horse, but they decided not to when she got injured, and so the lady kept her but didn't really ride her that much, which is where we came in, and we bought her as a trail horse. And she's a great trail horse. She's a little on the spunky side because I mean she's a mare, and I think she's like 13 now. So she had never been ridden English that we know of. And so months prior, like the year before this, I had tried to get on her Western, you know, tried around stuff. Bucking problem. She has a bucking problem, and we didn't know that she would rear until this accident occurred. I was retraining her basically. We would do walk trot. I finally got her to start cantering, and so I started riding her more and more, trying to get her used to that cantering. Started going over some small jumps, and she was doing good. But one day I was riding her, and I was in a bitless bridle because it was just like what I had on hand or whatever. So I was just trotting around in the arena, and we got to the back part of the arena, and it's kind of like there were woods beside it, but it's not like in the woods. Like there's a few trees hanging over it, but not like enough to hit your head on it or anything. And they're not low, they're like higher up there. So I was just riding her, and suddenly she spooked, and she went one way, and she was just kind of like, whoa. And then she reared up like really high. I don't know how high it was. My sister was out there, but I don't think she actually saw it happen. I think she wasn't really paying attention to me. My parents wanted someone out there with me riding her because she was kind of more, not dangerous, but she's a more spunky horse. And she's kind of like, you don't really know what's going to happen when you're on her. So my sister was out there just in case something happened. My dad was on the tractor somewhere. My mom was inside, well, my grandparents. And so she reared up. She went up really high, and I fell forward. So I didn't fall back. Thankfully, I think it would have hurt worse if I had fallen on my back. But I fell forward, and I fell like off of her, like over the side of her neck. And I landed on the ground, and she reared again, and my leg was like under her kind of. So she landed on the edge of my calf, like the flabby part of your calf, like the back part. It's like really flabby or whatever. So she landed on that and pinched the skin really bad. And there's still like a scar from how bad the bruise was. So it didn't really break skin that bad. Like I didn't have a gash or a cut. I didn't have anything broken. We didn't know that at the time, but I didn't have anything broken. So I just got out. She took off running, went through the gate into the pasture. She didn't go out into the road area. We keep that gate securely locked. And at this time, we only had a rope hanging. We didn't have a gate from the arena to the pasture because we had just moved here. And so she ran through the fence, had my bridle and saddle still on her, took off running across, and the gate to the big pasture was closed off for the other horses, so they couldn't get in the big pasture, but she was in the big pasture beside them. And so she wanted to go over there, so she's running back and forth. My sister was like, oh my gosh, are you okay? And she came running to me. My mom was over there. My dad went to go catch Dixie, which is her name, the horse's name. And this horse was not tall either. She's like 14'2", 14'3" at most. So my dad went over there, grabbed her, didn't know anything that happened. I had to explain to all of them like what happened, like why I was on the ground crying. And honestly, it was more shock than pain at that point, but if you fall off, you're kind of frightened, especially if you're thrown off, different than falling off. But yeah, so I was fine. I went inside, I iced my leg, we hosed my leg off because it was like disgusting. And I iced it and laid down. My dad went and lunged her. So we didn't just like let her go with throwing me off, but we thought something was wrong, so we wanted to make sure nothing was wrong with me before I continued riding. So yeah, and I still ride her on and off. But then I also got a new horse, so I don't really have time to ride any other horses that I'm not really competing on at this point, but I eventually will. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I'm always open to new video ideas, so you can make sure you put those in the down bar. So yeah, until my next video, bye guys.